Hello, my name is Michelle Bain. I am lead legal counsel at Be Social Justice Legal Consulting Incorporated, and this is your brief primer on becoming self-aware, meaning how to govern yourself, be more aware of yourself, and check your surroundings. Thank you for joining me today. This is important stuff. As I said, my name is Michelle. I'm a social justice advocate and a lawyer of about 12 years now. I am the CEO of a nonprofit called Youth Empowering Youth, and I'm also lead legal counsel for Be Social Justice. Let's be honest. If you're going to do this work, you have to keep it real. You cannot go down a road of self-awareness if you're not going to keep it real with yourself. So let's commit to that right here, right now. Will you keep it real with me? Because I'm going to keep it real with you. Now, I want you to think about power conscious awareness. Even if this is the first time you've heard these three words put together, power conscious awareness. You have to engage in your own personal research of this. This is really deep thinking work. Self-awareness is work that takes people a lifetime to accomplish. So the younger you start, the better chance you have of becoming self-aware. But you might be asking, okay, Michelle, I'm going to get involved in all this power conscious awareness, self-awareness raising work, that's deep thinking work. Well, why on goodness green earth would I do that? Before you go down this road, I want you to consider two things: your history or your herstory and context. I like to describe this as one of the comedians I love once said, you need a mirror and a map to determine you are here. You've got to consider your lived experience and what has brought you to this point. This is really kind of a surface overview of conscious power dynamics and self-awareness, but you really want to start with, who am I? What is my story? What is my timeline? And then on top of that, depending on the circumstance you find yourself in, you really want to consider context. How I often describe this for people is, as a criminal defense lawyer, I would say that the context of where my criminal defense clients might be in the course of a day, the context of their surroundings and their history or herstory really will make a difference in how the outcome of their particular circumstance may unfold, whether they be in a courtroom or in a transport van between a correctional institution and the courtroom, or at the correctional institution itself, in their cell, or on the range, or out during outdoor activities, space and time. You have to consider your history, who you are and how you got here, and the context of where you are. So that could be in your job, whether that's full-time or part-time. That could be at school, that could be with family, that could even be in your intimate partner relationships. What is my patterns of behavior? How did I find myself here? And where am I now? For self-awareness, being aware of where you are in the moment and how you got there, critically important. Just read the screen. This is critically important. Keep your cool, particularly with yourself and with others that you find very triggering. Often people are trying to trigger you on purpose. Keep your cool, because it's not always going to be easy. It will, of course, not always be smooth sailing. I'm going to just kind of focus here on the words on your screen. Change your behaviors based on the reflection and situational awareness. I can't stress this enough. Change your behaviors based on the reflection of, like I said before, the context and history or herstory of who you are and where you are in this moment, and your situational awareness. What is going on around me? How did I find myself here? Fun fact: self-awareness is the ability to focus on yourself and how your actions, your thoughts, the power of your mind, or your emotions do or do not align with your internal standards. What are your internal standards? Do you have many? Have you given them any thought? If you are highly self-aware, you can objectively evaluate yourself, manage your emotions, and align your behaviors with your values and understand how others perceive you. This you can Google and find on Better Up by psychologists Shelley Duvall and Robert Wickland. It is so important to monitor your own behaviors in these situations and to focus on yourself. I want you to imagine yourself in the matrix. Slow the situation down and see the bullet coming at you. It's often emotional in nature, but if you are quick to react, if you do not keep your cool, if you don't consider the context, self-awareness can be extremely, extremely challenging. Be honest with yourself. This is going to take you very far. Name and call attention to dominant group members, even if you just do so on your own, even if you do so in a journal or in a group of peers. Name and call attention to dominant group members. You must consider their investment in and benefit from the system of domination that you find yourself in. I'm assuming you're doing this brief training because you're finding yourself in circumstances that aren't going the way you want them to, and you find yourself being triggered and reactionary, and that's not how you're going to win the day. No, that's not going to help you win. Why would someone else want to give up their power? What power do you hold? And I want to go back to that first question. Why would someone else want to give up their power? Well, in what ways do we give up power when we aren't self-aware? Things like critical self-thought, insecurity, negativity are ways in which we just hand our power over to someone else and let them take it. And there are a lot of folks out there who will suck up your power like a vacuum. And you're going to wonder, well, what happened to that power I held? Or you may never have even noticed that you held that power in the first place. So you have to name and call attention to the dominant group member. They are definitely benefiting from the system of domination. So what power then do you hold? And how do you make sure you harness that power? Then I want you to interrogate. Interrogate yourself. Interrogate the role of power in the individual interactions, the policy development, the practices you're seeing. Does this seem like the right move? Does this seem fair? Have you done your research? Ask yourself and those around you who you think that you honestly believe you can trust. Ask them the difficult questions you're already asking yourself, or write down those questions. If you're not sure quite how to formulate them, just write down your thoughts and ideas. That's a great place to start, but you're going to want to start to interrogate the role of power in individual interactions, especially when it comes to policy development. Who is benefiting from the way this policy is drafted? And is it meant to benefit those of us who, I believe me, who may need it, or is it there to benefit those who are already in positions of power? Keep it positive. It's easy to go down a negative road when we start to be going down a road of thinking of becoming self-aware. Self-aware does not have to necessarily be self-criticism or negative or harsh. Be gentle. Keep it positive. Think positively about where you want to end up and be aware of your surroundings and situation and think, well, where do I want to go? If you're always looking for the negative is what you're going to find. So try to keep it positive. I'm going to go slowly through this slide because we're almost at the end. Be gentle with yourself. This is deep thinking work. Working together with like-minded youth and other adults to eradicate systemic oppression is admirable but challenging. It is very challenging work. This is also intergenerational work. Your generation may be facing new challenges that no generation before you, or not for a very long time, as a generation before you had to deal with, but no generation is going to deal with it the way you are. So do your research. Think through how have other folks who've been similarly situated on analogous grounds, meaning I can create an analogy that's somewhat similar to my current situation. I can think about my context. I can think about my history. And then you're going to want to reach out for help to say, okay, I see how those folks dealt with it, and I see where their situation may have ended up. And you can be objective, especially when you're researching something that happened even before you were born. But you're also going to want to reach out for help to think, well, how am I going to take stock of where I am, who I am, what power I hold, the power dynamics around me, and who may be trying to take power from me. And this is really important. Please never forget to enjoy your life. Do not let others steal your joy. That's likely what they may have been after all along. Be aware of your own peace and what brings you peace and what takes your peace away. Be aware of your happiness and what brings you joy. And make sure that you, in your capacity and with your individual power, grab hold of those things and do not let them go without a fight. Thank you.